Hello, everyone. My name is Pat Zina, the CEO of PJ Global Realty. I'm here again with another exciting news, another exciting moment to spend with our friends, our clients, those who need information in the real estate industry, and our subscribers. I want to thank you all that have subscribed to our channel and those that have been following. You've been watching our videos. You've made our journey so easy. I want to say we are grateful for how you've been following us up on all our journeys, estate tours, going to sites, inspections, and allocations journey. I want to tell you that we really appreciate on how you've been following us. So today we are here again for another exciting information. Remember, whenever you see PJ Global Realty, just know that we are here to serve you, to bring to your knowledge information that is required to make real estate a better informative collection tool. PJ Global Realty is a place where you get information that is required for you to make informed decision, making the right decisions without falling into the hands of scammers. We are here to guide you. So simply means the Billionaire Realtors Group. So today I'll be doing a short introduction on what BRG entails. So before I start, I would like to introduce to us the Chief Executive Officer and the President of BRG in the name of Dr. Emmanuel Abikoye. That is the President of BRG. And this company has existed for over 2 decades. So some of the services that BRG render includes real estate advisory. So if you have any concerns concerning real estate, BRG is there to resolve these concerns. They're there to give you answers to your questions. They also render real estate trainings. So there are real estate trainings made available if you just want to have information about real estate. There are platforms for trainings online and at physical offices at different locations. So they also render marketing and advertising. Remember, PJ Global Realty is in partnership with BRG. So there is also room for marketing and advertising. Those are mentioning the services that BRG renders. So BRG also renders project financing. So they finance projects like you can cooperate, like co-own properties. You can also do cashback by putting your money into a project in partnership with BRG and you get your returns annually, as the case may be. So BRG also render the service that concerns real estate valuation. So if you have concerns about the downtown or in real estate or inflation and you want to know when to invest, BRG also renders such services. Also, property management. BRG are superb in handling property management. So they also, lastly, they are also into property development. So they work hand in hand with developers. And I'm going to be measuring, I'll be measuring the major partners, I mean developers that are working with BRG. Remember, BRG is a brokerage firm, and as a brokerage firm, you need to work with developers for you to have products to put on sale. So some of the developers include Estone, Eystone. That's the first developer. We have Ragnarok. All these names I'm measuring are real estate companies. We have the Veritasi. Veritasi is another developer. We have the Symbolic. Symbolic is the name of another developer. We have Xylos. Xylos is also a developing company that build land, that sell lands, that build homes for people. Then we have Landmark. Landmark is a developer working with BRG as well. Then we have the Adozillion. Adozillion is a very big real estate company that is in partnership with BRG. Then we have ArcView. Remember, yesterday we spoke about ArcView. So ArcView is also in partnership with BRG. ArcView is a developing company. They are developers, while BRG is a brokerage firm. So they also work hand in hand, all in real estate, in the real estate market. So we have the City Buildings. The City Building is a developing company that also works with BRG. Then we have the Evermark. Evermark is working with BRG too as a partner company. Then we have the Gracias. Gracias is also a partner company. Then we have the GMH Luxury. GMH Luxury is the name of a real estate company that is in partnership with BRG. Then we have the Fine Bricks. Fine Bricks is the name of another real estate company. We have the GIOI Real Estate Investment Limited. Sorry, I'm spelling. I don't want to mispronounce any name. That is why I'm spelling. Then we have the Grand Duke Investment Company Limited. This company is also working with BRG. These are the people that make the houses, the lands, the homes available, the farmland you see on sale. These are the companies that are handling it, that will hand it over to BRG for it to be on sale. We have again the Home Nest. Home Nest Development Limited is also a developing company. Then we have the Life Page Group. The Life Page Group is another beautiful developing company working hand in hand with BRG. Then we have the MKH Investment. This is another developing group. Then we have the Landmark Corporate Realty Limited. Is another group working with BRG. Then we have the Fortizo Properties and Investment Limited. They are also working with BRG. We have the Prime Pima, the Prime Pinnacle. The Prime Pinnacle. The Prime Pinnacle is also working with BRG. Then we have the Reftop Homes. We have Tribitat Real Estate, and we have Zularish. These are just to mention but a few, because we have dozens of real estate companies that are working in partnership with BRG to make sales smoother and to make transparency easier for investors. We wouldn't want you to put in your money and you get scammed or your money get lost. So any company, any product we are marketing it because of integrity, because of transparency, because of verification. It is verifiable. You can go and do your charts. You can check to be convinced that this thing I'm buying, this property I'm buying, this land I'm buying, the home I'm buying is really existing, and I'm not being scammed. I'm not being cheated, because we hear a lot of things about scamming, people making payment and they don't get allocated, or maybe the government comes and just take over. There are cases where people make payment, clients pay for land, and the government just come and take over the place. So what will be the fate of the client that make payment? What will be your fate if your money is involved? You've already committed your money, you've made your 100% payment. Now the government have come. Who will you hold responsible? Is it the realtor? There are companies on ground to make sure that these things are being handled. So quickly, I'll just be mentioning a few properties. I'll be coming again for another session. Remember, this training is going to be in series, but I'll be mentioning today just a few properties that BRG are marketing currently. Today I'll just mention 3 because we have dozens of it. So we have Palazzo Royale. This Palazzo Royale is located in Eleko, Lagos. This Palazzo Royale is at Elekon, Lagos, and we have 500 square meters and 300 square meters available on this particular estate. And in this estate, the 500 square meter is going for 26 million naira, and the 300 square meter is going for 16 million naira. We also have a commercial plots for those who want to buy, who want to key into the commercial aspect. The commercial plot is also available, which is going for 61 million naira. Remember, this property is located at Ibejuleki, and the title attached to this property is government allocation. So on this property, we have the government allocation. That's the title document attached to this particular property. So I'm going to tell you about another beautiful property. This is Ambiance 2. Ambiance 2 have a lot of features, so beautiful features. Ambiance 2 is an apartment. It's not a land. This is an apartment. And on this particular estate, Ambiance 2, we have 3-bedroom plus BQ, and we have 2-bedroom plus BQ. And the initial deposit to become a owner of apartment in Ambiance 2 is just 30 million naira. That's the initial deposit. So when you make that initial deposit of 30 million naira, you already become an apartment owner. And even when increments come, maybe upward review is determined on the apartment, it no longer affects you. Why? Because you have locked down your own unit. So it's no longer affecting you. It's for the incoming clients. That's why initial deposit is very important. So for the 3-bedroom plus BQ is 135 million naira, and for the 2-bedroom plus BQ is 120 million naira. Remember, this Ambiance is located at Oko Ado. Oko Ado. This Oko Ado is at Sangotedo. I may not pronounce the name. Don't mind the way I pronounce. Due to my tongue, but is Okoado Sangotedo. That is where this property is located. The Ambiance 2 is at Sangotedo, and the title that is covering this property is governor's consent. We have governor's consent. Remember, it's not just the property that matters. It doesn't matter how much you pay on a property. If you don't have the documents for that property, you cannot proudly say you are the owner. It is the documentation of the property that will make the government to recognize that you own this certain property. So I'll be talking about another one, which is called Mattress Bay. Mattress Bay is located at Kurudu, and this Kurudu is in Abuja. Kurudu Commercial, Abuja. The Mattress Bay is a property located in Abuja, FCT, Nigeria, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. That is where it is located. And the title on this Mattress Bay is Arrow of O. So we have the Arrow of O on this property. And for you to become an owner, for you to become an owner on this land, is a landed property, it's not an apartment. You need to make initial deposit of 20%. And the beauty about this property is that you can buy per square meter. You can purchase this property per square meter, and the per square meter of this property is 14,400 naira. So you can decide to start buying 10 square meters, then you increase it as according to your budget, according to your financial plans. So it is per square meters. And if you're able to make the total payment, if you are going for maybe 650 square meter or 681 square meter, the lowest square meter is 413 square meter. If that's what you are going for, you can actually make the plans for 3 months payment. If you're making plans for 3 months payment, is interest free. You're not paying a dime apart from the money attached to the land, or maybe documentation or any other estate developmental fees, but there is no interest attached. But if you are making payments for within 6 months, if you are using a 6-month payment plan, there is a token to be paid on top, which is 6%, and the 6% is from 3 months to 6 months. Then if you take it forward from 6 months to 12 months, the percentage increases to 12%. So if you are buying it, you are making your payments within 1 year, you have 12% interest to pay on it. Remember, the plot size that are available includes the 413.24 square meter, the 650 square meter, and 681 square meter. These are the meters that are available for you on this property. Then I'm going to talking about one which is called urban neighborhood. Urban neighborhood Urban neighborhood is a landed property, an estate that is selling a landed property. In urban neighborhood, we have the title document, which is the government approved. The government approved settlement scheme directly. And remember, is the government approved settlement scheme that attached to this property. And this property is directly facing the New Lekki International Airport. So just opposite the New Lekki International Airport, that is where this urban neighborhood is located, and is at the Lekki Ekpe Expressway in Lekki here in Lagos State. Unlike the previous one I spoke about that was Abuja, that was in Kurudu, Abuja. This one is at Ibejuleke. Remember, the title on this land is C of O, certificate of occupancy. So you have a certificate of occupancy on this land, and we have 300 square meters and 500 square meters on the residential. Then when we are talking about the commercial plot, we have 1,000 square meters available. So for the 300 square meters, we have the 21 million 9.999999. So just remove, let's just call it 22 million naira. And we are going for the 500 square meters, then we have 34 million 9999.999. So let's just call it 35 million naira. And for the commercial plots, the commercial plot is actually going for 100 million naira. I have come to discover that a lot of clients come, they want to buy land, and when they hear that the residential plot is selling for 1.5 million naira and the commercial plot is going for 6 million naira, they want to go for the residential plot. I'm going to make a video explaining why you should pay more attention on the commercial plot, unlike the residential plot, except you have plans, you want to live in that particular estate yourself. You have decided in your mind that yourself and your family are going to live in this particular estate. And mind you, in real estate, the house or the property you purchase today may not necessarily be your permanent home. You can always switch. You can always change location. You can decide to sell it out. You can decide to put it on lease, make it Airbnb, and you go to another location. You can even switch your country of location, and the property will go for the commercial. But if the land is a residential land, you cannot convert it to a commercial land. If you discover that recently in Lagos, a lot of lands were demolished, a lot of properties were demolished, shopping mall, homes, and people are crying, they are wailing. You see women lamenting, I am a widow with 5 children. The government has come to demolish my house. Most of those properties, I'm not saying all, I am not saying all. Of course, you know our country can be very wonderful at times. I am not saying all. Most of those properties were bought as residential properties, and they were now built as commercial properties. Remember, the government that gave you the document already knew what you recorded your land to be. So the property you got, you went to the government to register it with them. You did your survey with them. They know the land size, and you got your deed of assignment, and you got your C of O. Maybe you got your governor's allocation, or you got every other property you needed from the government, and it was registered as a residential property. And all of a sudden, just because of development that have come into that particular place, you now decided you want to turn it to a commercial property, probably a filling station. You decided to sell your property off. You decided to sell it off to and the plate number they actually got for their vehicle is a private, they got a private plate numbers for their vehicles. Then after a while, they want to convert the vehicle to a commercial vehicle. Remember, when you decide to convert a private vehicle to a commercial vehicle, you need to go back to the government and re-register your vehicle, change the number from private ownership to a commercial vehicle. That is how it is in real estate as well, for residential and commercial properties. You cannot just convert it at night and decide it's no longer private, it's no longer resident, it's now a commercial. I want to appreciate those that have been following us from the onset of this meeting. So today we're talking about real estate class with PJ Global Realty. Real estate class with PJ Global Realty. Yesterday we did episode 1. Today it's episode 2. And it's talking about, today we're talking about 5 questions to ask before you pay for a land. Before you make any purchase, before you transfer money, before you make payment, before you pay for deposit, 5 questions you should ask before you make payment, before you transfer money for that piece of land. Stop. Have you asked these 5 questions? One, covers the property. Don't just ask, is the land genuine? Ask, what document cover this property? Then make sure the documentation is properly verified. Remember, verification is very, very important. You might ask and you are just told, just on a platter of gold, the land has CFO, the land has this. Remember, CFO expires after 99 years. So that you own a CFO on a land does not mean that the CFO cannot expire. The house or the land must have, maybe it has been registered long ago. You can purchase the land and it has CFO, and the CFO has already lasted on that land for 80 years. Mind you, if you are buying that land, you have less than 20 years for the CFO to expire, and you need to go back to the government to go and renew your CFO. So the question 2 is, who owns the land? Ask about the ownership history. Who owns the land? Who is selling it? And does the person or company selling it have the legal right to sell it? If you don't have the legal right to sell it, if, for instance, I'll give an example. You own a property in an estate. You bought the property probably for land banking, or you intended to live there, and along the line you change your mind. And now you have decided you want to sell off the land. You cannot just sell the land without involving the estate management. You must go back to the company that sold the land to you and get the right proper documentation. Your deed of assignment will switch from you to the person that is buying, and we are going back to the government to re-register it in the name of the new owner or the new buyer, and the transfer will be made. It is no longer, from that time, the property will no longer belongs to you. Rather, it will now belongs to the new buyer. Then the question 3, what exactly am I buying? Is it residential land, commercial land, agricultural land? Know the permitted use and understand exactly what you are paying for. You see what I was saying just now? When you're purchasing a land, you need to know what exactly you are buying, what the land is for. If you register a land to be for a farmland, you cannot automatically convert it to be for residency. A farmland is not permitted for you to convert it to become a residency or for commercial purpose, because you register it with the government as a farmland. And there are some locations that you cannot register a farmland on, and there are some locations that is only for commercial purpose. There are some locations that is only for residency, due to the government, whatever they decide. Remember, in Nigeria, any land in Nigeria belongs to the government. So they can decide that this place is going to be for this place there'll be a police station, there'll be an army barrack here, this place is going to be for markets. In the next 40 years, we're going to build an hospital here. This place is for a university, it's for college of education. So it is the government that will determine it. So the question for you ask is, what are the additional costs? Don't look at only the advertised price. Ask about the documentation fees, development charges, infrastructure fee, and any other applicable cost. I've seen a lot of realtors, a lot of clients, sorry to say, they make payments and they were told that this property is going for 120 million naira. And after they make the payment, they never ask, is there any developmental fees? Is there infrastructure fees? Is there any other charges attached? And when they now get there and the company is telling them, okay, Mr. Jude, you made a payment of 120 million naira, this is your receipt, your document, but for you to, this your payment receipt, for you to get your register survey, you are going to pay another sum of 600,000. And you'll be like, why? Why will I make such payment? I wasn't told about this. You should ask the right questions. This property I'm paying for, is there any other additional payment? Developmental charges are things that you cannot remove. It is everywhere. Whether you're a Nigerian, you are abroad, you pay for developmental charges and infrastructure charges. All those things you met in the estate, people put money together to put it there. And if you're entering that estate, you're also going to partake from whatever cost they must have spent there. So you don't just put your mind on property is sold for 1.5 million naira and so voila. It's not like that. So you must prepare your mind and ask the right questions so that you can plan yourself properly to know when exactly you are entering the estate, what you should be expecting, and what you should be budgeting for to make things easier for you and the raters. So you need to know the total financial commitments. So the question 5 is, can I inspect and verify everything? Can I inspect? You should ask. You want to purchase a land, you're talking with this realtor has been telling you, come and buy property from me. How do I go about it? You are asking the person, how do I go about it? The person have told you, I've sent you the company's account number, I've sent you the flyer, I've sent you the video, you saw it, you like it. You should ask the person, can I go and do verification by myself? It should be a place that you can go independently to check for yourself. Ask for the address. You can send somebody there, even if you're not in Nigeria, maybe you're abroad, you can send a trusted person there. And if you trust this rater, you can tell the rater, okay, when you get there, turn on your video, ask questions. What is this place? What is this place? You can even say, okay, give the phone to the security. I want to discuss with the security. And as you get the phone from the security and you begin to talk, questions. Remember, the estate security does not know what you and the rater have discussed. So you can ask questions and get to know more about the estate. So don't just depend on what you were told on phone. You can do your due diligence so that you won't get scammed, because I have discovered that some clients that usually say they got scammed, they didn't actually get the right information. Because they didn't get the right information, they now put it on, the person scammed me. Can you imagine, they deceived me? You didn't ask the right questions. When you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. Then you can hold the person accountable that this is what you told me and this is not what I'm saying. And that is why documentation is very important. When you see the terms, the FAQ, the terms and conditions, you read it and you sign on it. You saw that this is what they told you. So when the company is now not coming forth, you can, what I was told, I need my money back, you know? And you go through the due process and everything will be resolved amicably. So you ask yourself, can I independently inspect and verify this property? If someone is pressuring you to pay immediately without allowing reasonable time for questions and verification, that is a reason to slow down. Slow down, slow down. Don't let anybody rush into making payment. Please make the payment quick. They want to increase the price. The prices are going up. Don't let anybody pressurize you into making payments. You need to do your due diligence. Remember this. Remember, real estate is a major financial decision. Don't allow excitement to make you skip due diligence. Ask questions, verify the answers. Even when you're giving answers, verify. Then make your decisions. I am Pazina, the CEO of PJ Global Realty. I'll see you in episode 3 of Real Estate Class. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Subscribe. If you subscribe to this channel, you comment and you like. You are helping us to push this video to those who will need it. So those who are about to make the wrong decision now, those who are about to make purchase without asking questions, those who are about to fall into the hands of scammer, your comment, your like, your share, we allow them to see the video and will not be scammed. They won't lose their money. It's not easy to make money. So real estate is a major decision. Buying property is a major decision. So we won't allow you to lose your money. Till we see you again for episode 3. Remain blessed and bye.